What's going on YouTube? It is Ninja Turtle and we're back talking about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite once again as I do these videos at least the best I can on every Friday going forward just to keep the conversation going. Today's video is going to be about the Capcom characters that would be new to the series that I think personally are going to be in the game. Now this list again is not based off any leaks or any confirmation of these characters. It is a personal opinion. I could be absolutely correct and right about this, or completely wrong and feel like an asshole for being wrong, but that is up to me to determine this list. And if you guys agree with me, make sure you hit that like button at the end of the video. Keep in mind I've already made a list on actually a top 10 list on Marvel characters that I think that will be new to the series. I did that last week, and now we got this Capcom list, but today's list is not actually going to be a top 10. It's just going to be kind of a good educated guess sort of list. One of those reasons is because as far as Marvel goes, I have been reading Marvel comic books nearly my entire life, so I know kind of how they work and their character selection process. Not to say that my list is so definitively right, but I feel more strongly about making a definitive list for Marvel than I do for Capcom. And also with Capcom, I love their games, but I haven't played them all. I'm not a Capcom expert in any stretch of the imagination, so I just put on my thinking hat before I made this list, and I will give you my logic as I go through it. Well, let's no further delay, let's go ahead and get into it. I want to start off, again, this is not a numbered list, it's kind of more of a grouping of educated thoughts. Let's start off with Street Fighter, the very popular Street Fighter series. It's the Capcom, their franchise that makes them all the big bucks. And what new characters from Street Fighter do I think are going to be in the game? Well, for the most part, we're just going to say one, maybe two. Right now, I'm leaning towards Juri Han, and also to Armika. Both characters are in very featured spots in Street Fighter V and are very popular. Juri was in Street Fighter 4 and in Street Fighter 5, so there's already a favoritism there amongst the fan base, and within Capcom they put her in 2 straight games. I think that she can make a very fun and easy translation into Street Fighter or Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, excuse me. And as far as Armika goes, again, another character they threw in Street Fighter V because internally they felt very strong about her, and she's actually a very strong character in Street Fighter V. And I personally would love to see her in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and she would be another kind of a goofball character that will give the game a lot more presence, a lot more character, make it a lot more fun to play and to see, to watch. But she also has great technical skills, and it will blend very well to the team up mechanic that they have going on with the characters swapping back and forth, teaming up as seen in the gameplay video. But again, Armika is probably on the weaker side of how I feel about her inclusion in the game. Of course, there's other new characters in Street Fighter V and other characters that just never have been in the series that they can put in, but if I had to lean towards anything, it's going to be Juri and then maybe Armika. Again, this list is new characters, not characters that haven't been in the series or weren't in the last game. So a character like Dalsim, who was in Marvel 2, could absolutely make it into Marvel Infinite. I'm not putting him on today's list because he's not a new character. He is a repeat character, or a character that previously has been on. If you missed that video, I also made that as well a few weeks ago. Go check that out. But let's move on, and I am going to kind of go on a related note, and we're going to talk about Final Fight. So a lot of the Final Fight characters have actually appeared in Street Fighter games, and this would be no exception. And I'm going to mention this group because actually all of them were in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and that is Poison, Cody, Guy, and Hugo. All four were in Street Fighter Cross Tekken, and Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is borrowing a lot of the mechanics and gameplay from Ultimate Marvel 3 as well as Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So again, the character models kind of already exist, the movesets already exist, the gameplay is already there. Making them translate into a new Marvel Infinite would be relatively easy, so that's one way to include them into the game, as well as expanding upon the Final Fight roster within the Marvel games, because right now all we've seen to this point is Hagar in Marvel 3. So I think we're going to get at least one of those characters, maybe two. It's kind of hard to see Poison without Hugo, but it's also hard to see just Poison or just Hugo by himself. They could just totally do Cody, as I mentioned before in another video. And then there's even Maki, who can also make it in too. There's a chance for her to make it in, but I don't think all of them are going to get in, but at least one, maybe two. Now moving on to another very popular Capcom franchise, and that's Darkstalkers. Now I've already mentioned in the previous video that I think Felicia has a very strong chance of making it into the game, but I've also mentioned that in my Marvel video that Squirrel Girl has a chance to make it in, and I'm going to expand upon this slot in a future video. But I think the move sets for a Squirrel Girl and a Felicia pretty much are the same, so it's kind of a contradicting list to have them both on a list that they're going to make a game, and I think that only one really is going to make it, and I don't think Felicia is going to make it if Squirrel Girl is going to be there. So, but we got to have some more Darkstalker representation instead of just Morgan. And right now on the top of my list as a new character, never been in Marvel Infinite, will be Dimitri, with a close second to John Talbane. Of course, both of them can get in, but I think I'm going to lean towards Dimitri as a new character. Of course, Cinco is already in previous Marvel games, so again, not on this list, but not on today's list, but is absolutely a possibility that she can get in. But today I'm thinking of more Dimitri than anyone else. Alright, moving on, going to Resident Evil. As far as I believe, I don't think, because I think this is kind of a fresh opportunity, a fresh take, a chance to introduce new characters and then change up some of the gameplay, as well as still stay loyal to things. I think that we're not going to have Chris or Jill or Wesker to start, at least not right away, and the launch of the game. So they're going to have more Resident Evil characters that never were in the series, and who could that possibly be other than Ada Wong and Leon S. Kennedy? Sure, there's a chance of Claire Redfield just for the heck of it, but I don't see her making it in. But I'm pretty confident that they're going to go in another direction and have Leon and have Ada be playable characters here. Maybe a little less so on Ada, because sure, she's a character, she's popular, but she's still not the main star, and she's just kind of there to assist Leon, as far as also kind of be a pain in the butt. But it's really more Leon is my strongest inclination to pick is with him. And I've already previously said with Jill and Chris and Wesker that they can probably gonna be a DLC at some point in the future, maybe a future DLC pack of Resident Evil characters where they bundle them all together, $20, here's a new stage, and so on. That's how I feel about those characters. Now we're gonna have another character that is in a newer franchise. Now it's actually funny, Capcom's games lately, there hasn't been too many of them, and they haven't been all that popular, and there haven't been all that many that have new IPs. one character that I do think will make it into Marvel Infinite will be Ashura from Ashura's Wrath. I've never played the game. I've seen a little bit of it on YouTube, and Ashura looks pretty cool. The game looks pretty good, but again, I've never played it, so I can't say a whole lot about it, but I know it's a very popular character, and another character that they have not done anything with before in this franchise, and they have an opportunity to do so. It kind of is funny though with Ashura that I do see a lot of similarities between Ryu and Akuma and so on. I believe that was part of the gameplay aspects of Ashura's Wrath, having some like Shoto style sort of thing. So it'd be interesting whether or not Akuma does make it into the game on top of Ryu, if they were to go with Ashura, or even Ken for that matter, but we'll see. Another new character that has never been in the franchise before would be Gene from God Hand. So Gene, he's got those hands, or at least one, I believe. I guess again a game that I've never played before is God Hand, but another very popular character amongst Capcom fans, and another character that they can put in this game that can get more sales and more interest. But I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of new characters for Capcom, but God Hand Gene is definitely one that's on everyone's radar. Now lastly, I don't have specific characters, but I just kind of feel that they're going to throw in something, or maybe not a full playable character, but maybe have a stage or just a background reference to Power Stone and rival schools. They could totally do some new character and had one character from each franchise in the game, or they can just, you know, have it as a reference or a background character sort of thing. I believe there was rival school characters in the background of a Street Fighter V stage. They can do something like that, but that's where I leave it there as far as Capcom characters. Let me know what you think of this video and these characters that I mentioned. Do you think that they're going to be in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite? Is there any other characters that I did not mention today that you think are going to make it in the game? Let me know in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. Again, I'm not the biggest and most versed person in Capcom histories and gaming, so I would love to know what characters you love and you want to see in our beloved franchise Marvel vs. Capcom. And if you haven't already, subscribe, because again, I make Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite videos every week, just to keep the conversation going. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like me to make. I do have one planned that may take me a little bit of time to put together, but it's actually is about what I was talking about with Squirrel Girl. But I hope that I can get that done within the next week or two. If not, I may have a filler video next week, or just no video at all, just because I want to really do that video good justice, because it's really awesome. I've been wanting to do it for some time. But again, make sure you subscribe so you can check that video out and other videos that I post here on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and other video games going forward. This is Ninja Turtle, and I'm signing out. Peace.